Last year's LG G5 was the first OLED TV to use an RGB tandem panel, but LG has also added the panel into this year's C6H. Today, we're comparing LG's 2025 flagship G5 to the second-tier OLED in their 2026 lineup, the C6H. The two TVs are very similar, but the G5 does offer a bit more overall. However, the C6H does have one advantage that might make it a better choice, depending on what you care about most. Now is a great time to buy a 2025 model, since they're typically on sale for cheaper than the newest TVs. We'll be releasing more videos comparing 2025 TVs to 2026 TVs, so be sure to subscribe to stay up to date. The C6H is only available in 77 and 83-inch sizes. The G5 is also available in those two sizes, but also comes in 55, 65, and 97-inch options as well. However, the 97-inch does not have an RGB tandem panel. If you're shopping for a 55 or 65-inch model, go with the G5, since those sizes in the C series lineup use a WOLED panel. The G5 doesn't come with a stand in most regions. Instead, it comes with LG's slim wall mount, which is great if you plan on wall mounting your TV. If you want to use a stand with the G5, you can purchase one separately. On the other hand, both the 77 and 83-inch C6H come with a stand. The G5 is noticeably thicker, but it's more uniform. The C6H's screen is incredibly thin, but the TV has a pretty thick box on the back that houses the electronics and inputs. The G5 sits flush against your wall when mounted, but the chunky box on the back of the C6H leads to a slight gap between your wall and the TV. We're going to mostly focus on the differences between these two TVs in this video, so let's quickly run down what they have in common. Both have infinite contrast ratios for inky blacks with no haloing, and have unrivaled motion clarity due to nearly instant pixel transitions. They also share the same gaming features, so you get 4 HDMI 2.1 ports capable of up to 4K at 165Hz, and both support FreeSync, G-Sync, and HDMI 4 VRR. Color volume is essentially the same on both too, and it's pretty much a draw when it comes to brightness in SDR. However, there is a bit of a difference in HDR brightness. Both TVs provide an impactful HDR viewing experience, but the G5 is a bit brighter. The C6H hits higher peaks with a 2% window, but the G5 is brighter with larger window sizes. The G5 is also 500 nits brighter with a 10% window, around 100 nits brighter with a 50% window, and around 60 nits brighter with a full screen. The G5 also does a better job maintaining its brightness when highlights stay on screen, likely due to the heatsink that it has. In our real scene tests, both TVs do very well. They have similar brightness in our hallway lights and yellow skyscraper test scenes, but the G5 does noticeably better with our challenging landscape pool test scene. The pool on the bottom of the edge of the screen just pops more on the G5. In the end, the differences in HDR brightness aren't that big. But if you want the brightest highlights possible, the G5 wins. Out-of-the-box color accuracy is solid in SDR on the C6H, but the G5 is so accurate that even enthusiasts likely won't feel the need to even calibrate the TV. Gamma is incredibly close to 2.2, color temperature is just slightly cooler than the industry standard 6500 Kelvin, and colors are almost exactly on target. In contrast, the C6H's gamma is a bit wavier. The color temperature is a bit cooler, and colors aren't as firmly on target. Again, this isn't a big difference, but anyone wanting the most accurate colors possible will benefit from the G5. There's a larger difference in HDR color accuracy. The G5 isn't perfect here since the imperfect white balance contributes to a color temperature that's a bit too cool. Some colors are also off the mark, and some reds and blues are undersaturated. Still, these inaccuracies are small enough that most people won't even notice them, and it still stays true to the filmmaker's intent. Unfortunately, the C6H's HDR color accuracy is just okay. It's not terrible by any means, but there's too much blue throughout most shades of gray. This makes the TV's color temperature noticeably too cool, and reds are even more undersaturated here. On top of that, most colors are off target. Colors still look good overall, but it doesn't follow the content creator's intent as closely as the G5 does. A big reason to choose the G5 is its reflection handling. Both TVs use a glossy screen coating, but the coating on the G5 does a better job lessening the intensity of light sources. Just take a look at our direct reflections test, which uses a ring light directly in front of the screen that's meant to mimic how the TV performs if you have a lamp or window opposite your TV screen. The ring light's reflection is noticeably dimmer on the G5, which means it blends in better with the content you're watching. You might still notice its reflection during darker scenes, but it's not going to stick out nearly as much as it does on the C6H. It's no secret that OLEDs have wide viewing angles, making them great choices for rooms with wide seating arrangements. The G5 and the C6H both fit this bill, but the G5 does maintain its image quality better from more aggressive angles. Both TVs suffer from some color shift, which causes them to take on a bit of a green tint if you're watching TV from an angle. However, the G5 does a better job maintaining its color saturation, black levels, brightness, and gamma. If you or your guests regularly watch TV from an angle, the G5 maintains its image quality better for viewers sitting to the sides of the screen. LG did something pretty cool with their 2026 OLEDs by implementing a 13-bit processing pipeline. This higher internal bit depth is designed to reduce banding and posterization, and functions exactly as intended. Outside of some barely visible banding in brighter greens, color gradients are incredibly smooth on the C6H. It's not like the G5 has super messy gradients, but you might notice some subtle banding here and there when watching movies and shows, or playing video games. If you have keen eyes and banding really bothers you, the C6H and other 2026 LG OLEDs offer the best gradient handling currently on the market. Outside of gradient handling, the LG G5 is a better TV than the C6H. It's close, but the G5 just offers a bit more overall since it's brighter in HDR, offers better accuracy out of the box, and is a bit better for bright rooms and rooms with wide seating arrangements. In the end, most people should just go with whatever TV is cheaper. But since the G5 is being cleared out right now, you should be able to find it for less than the cost of a C6H.